Can you state your name for the record?
Joseph Freeman.
And Mr. Freeman, you are the defendant in this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you have pled guilty to the offenses of the aggravated robbery, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, the state has brought some evidence about a deadly conduct, a shooting that occurred a few months earlier. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You want to tell the judge what happened in that case?
We was riding our bikes through the neighborhood, and a guy and my cousin or my friend, I can't remember which one it was, but they had an argument at the house earlier, and they saw each other. They started arguing. He pulled out a gun, and I began firing shots.
Okay. Now, who is your cousin?
My cousin's name is Kerry Kirkwood.
Okay, but who was with you when you were riding bikes?
It was me, JK, and third.
Okay, who is JK?
JK is one of my friends.
Okay, was Kalon Johnson out there?
No, sir. He
Why?
was not with us.
Huh?
He was not with us. He was at the house.
Okay, but he was arrested that day out there, wasn't he?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you know why he was arrested?
I guess from being at the house.
Being at the house where the gunfire was?
Yes, sir.
So you're telling the court that you shot at the guy, I think his name was Palmer, because Palmer had a gun
Yes, sir.
and he had gotten into a confrontation with your cousin.
Yes, sir.
Were you afraid that he might shoot you?
Yes, sir.
This beginning says everything. Confusion, half-remembered details, and a young man who seems overwhelmed by his own past. What hits me most here is how casually he describes moments involving guns, arguments, and shots fired. It shows how normalized violence had become in his life. You can hear he's not fully processing the gravity of what happened, but the court definitely is.
With regard to the murder case that they've accused you of, was that you in the red and black pants?
Yes, sir.
When you went up to the car, did you know that Kalon Johnson was going to shoot anybody?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you have a gun?
No, sir.
Did you get shot?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else you would like to tell the judge regarding what she should do when she sentences you for these offenses?
I hope that she showed me mercy for the things that I have done.
What then?
I hope that you show me mercy for the things that I have done in the past.
How old are you?
I'm only 21.
How long have you been in jail?
Almost 3 years.
This is a heartbreaking section. He's just 21 and has already spent nearly 3 years in jail. I hope she shows me mercy. That's a real human moment. But the court doesn't judge feelings. It judges actions. And the actions behind this case are heavy. This is where you feel the contrast between someone's youth and the irreversible consequences of their choices.
Okay, let's go back to the deadly conduct. You're saying that David Palmer's lying?
I'm not saying that he lied. I'm saying that he had a gun that I fired back at him.
Did anybody ever say that he had a gun?
No, nobody never said that.
Why'd you run? Why'd you run from Officer Ortega?
I was scared. I
Why?
have fear of the cops.
Why?
Because on Instagram and TikTok, they show cops killing people. I didn't want to be the next one dead.
Ran from the cops because you knew you'd done something wrong, didn't you?
No, man, that's why I stopped.
So we're supposed to take your word for it over Mr. Palmer. Yes or no? Are we supposed to take your word for it or Mr. Palmer's?
I guess mine because he's not here.
Okay. But we heard the officer testify about the gunshots in his vehicle. We see you run. And what do we see you with in your pocket? A loaded 9mm Taurus, right? What were you doing with it?
I had it for my protection. They had people that been shooting at my house and my auntie house.
So judge is supposed to believe that on the day of the deadly conduct, that you clearly can't deny it because she saw you on the screen with the Taurus in your pocket and the 2 mags in your back pocket, right? That you had a gun that day.
Yes.
But all these other times you didn't have a gun on you?
No, ma'am.
And you didn't know that criminal activity was going to be happening?
This prosecutor does not hold back. She points out every contradiction, every lie, every missing detail. And honestly, this is the moment the case flips. The tone changes from sympathy to accountability. It's intense because she's basically telling him, Your actions don't match your words, and the evidence is right there.
I knew that criminal activity was gonna be happening, but I wasn't expecting for them to do it while I was around.
So you knew what you guys were doing. Y'all were just running as a little group of thugs, right? All over the south end of Beaumont, doing whatever you want with loaded firearms in your pockets, shooting at people, holding people up, and eventually murdering people, right? All when you're 19 years old, 18, 19 years old, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How many people are out there at the jail with you right now? They're in the same kind of predicament. Your age, young, violent offenders who repeatedly terrorize Beaumont. How many? A lot, right? Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
You know some of them from the street.
This part is brutal. Being called a group of thugs is harsh, but what she's really emphasizing is patterns. Running with armed friends, consistent criminal behavior, the same group in every case. She's building the story that this isn't one mistake. It's a lifestyle.
I did too.
You're out there being disrespectful. You're fighting. You're acting like the same thug that wants to run around the south end of Beaumont with loaded weapons and commit crimes that just keep going like this. You're probably too young to know that show Price is Right, where that little guy keeps going up the mountain. This is you, Joseph Freeman. Let's not start off with, stealing some bubble gum from the 7-Eleven. Let's just start off as soon as you're an adult. Deadly conduct. You could have killed David Palmer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's run from the cops. They could have shot you. You're so scared of cops. They didn't. Did they act professionally? You saw Officer Ortega after she had to chase you north, south, and west, all over the south, because you knew you had done wrong by shooting at David Palmer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Kaylon's out there too, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that just a coincidence that it's you and Kaylon on that video
No,
killing
ma'am.
Richard Shiloh? Is it?
The judge's tone here is a wake-up call. She literally compares his life choices to someone climbing a cliff with no brakes. And the crazy part is, he's only 19 during most of this. But age doesn't erase the damage done. This is where the courtroom becomes not just legal, but emotional.
Your rules of probation. To be courteous to others, to follow the rules. You can't follow the rules when you're inside, much less outside. Right, Joseph? You can't follow the rules. You can't?
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
what you've shown us with all this evidence, that you can follow the rules? Do you need to be back out in Beaumont?
Yes, ma'am.
You do. So that someone else can be terrorized by you?
No, ma'am.
That's an issue.
There's something that I want cleared up, and I don't know if we'll get it cleared up, with regard to Mr. Freeman after the murder, not before, but after on the video with a possible weapon. Where'd that come from?
He had it in the car.
Who did?
Richard Shiloh. That's the weapon that he pulled out on me.
But you ran with it, right?
No?
You ran with it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You never told the cops what happened. Right?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
still haven't told the truth of what.
This moment exposes something deeper, responsibility. She asks why he never told police what really happened, why he runs, why he blames others. And honestly, you can see the frustration. Courts want honesty, not excuses. And she's letting him know he hasn't earned that mercy he's asking for.
Within a 1-mile radius in this neighborhood, this particular neighborhood, a neighborhood where people in our community just want to live, work, raise their families, and just have some sort of peace. Hardworking people who don't live in a gated community, who are just doing the best they can. Having grown up in a neighborhood like that myself, I understand, Judge, that it is the 2%, 3% of the people who live in that neighborhood that terrorize the people in that neighborhood. And this defendant, Joseph Freeman, is that 2 or 3% of the people. He, again, within a 1-mile radius, is out terrorizing and using firearms and acts of violence, with at least on one other occasion, the same individual that he committed ultimately this felony murder as a party involving Richard Shiloh. And you've got all the information you need. You've seen the other trials. You've heard the evidence in those other cases. You got a that situation there. You've got them subsequently acting after that shooting as if it was par for the course, just run of the mill, something that just happened as a part of doing business, Your Honor. One thing I will distinguish between this defendant and the other co-defendants, and the point is taken from Mr. Radford, but I think it's not it's not applicable here, is that unlike the other defendants, they weren't on probation for aggravated robbery. The defendant was on probation for aggravated robbery.
No. He pled guilty to the aggravated robberies.
He had committed an aggravated robbery.
Correct.
And unlike those other two defendants, I think that merits a higher punishment than what the other defendants got, Your Honor. And with that being said, I think the court has everything it needs, all of the evidence that it needs. Judge, this is one of those cases, and you've seen it time and time again. Nothing less than 50 years, Judge, is what this defendant is.
This prosecutor's argument is powerful because it's about the community, not just the crime. A 1-mile radius filled with fear. Ordinary families caught in chaos caused by a small group of people. This transforms the case from one event to a pattern that destroys neighborhoods.
Mr. Freeman, part of the reason I wanted to look back and see what I did is because I honestly feel like all 4 of the co-defendants in the murder, in my opinion, got off too easy. One of them was an agreement, and I understand why that agreement was reached. Came up first, was honest very quickly, and did what he needed to do to take care of his business. Didn't have other criminal history that I can recall, and that's Kalen. Now, it sounds like he was obviously involved in a lot of other stuff that, and really until today, I don't know that everybody knew about. And today you've decided to give us some more information, because in your pre-sentence report, with regard to the 2 ag robberies that you're here for today, you specifically said
This final part is honestly chilling. The judge believes all 4 defendants got off too easy, even before this sentencing. That tells you how serious she views the case. And her comments about his conflicting stories show she doesn't trust him. At this point, you can almost feel what her final decision will be.